Prejudice. Wrote a song about it. Like to hear it? Here it goes. Free your mind.
DizzieMac, the internationally acclaimed Shimmy Shake Girls, Bras, Panties, and Sports. The Midas Mind, sports from a moneymaker's perspective. Bras, Panties, and Sports. Andre Ramirez of Extreme Sports Picks, building a legacy of smooth. Bras, Panties, Sports. Sports, comedy, music, and more right here on Bras, Panties, and Sports. Cheryl, take it away.
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Or they try to tell us something, so we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as Lovie Smith may wonder about flying south after the shell-lacking put on his Buccaneers by the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons flew in for a feast at the expense of the hapless Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even Devin Hester gave Lovie more love than his own team. It's only the third game of the season. Has the skills gotten hot, or is there some coaches on the hot seat? I mean, that was the skillet. Is the skillet getting hot, or are there some coaches on the hot seat? Jason Garrett, Tom Coughlin, Mike Tomlin, Mike Ditka, and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Lovie Smith doesn't have a problem right now, even though they're 0-2, but he just got to Tampa Bay, so I don't think the seat is hot for him. You know, he still has a chance. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would give him at least to the end of the season to see what he can do. However, there are 3 coaches that are on the hot seat, and one is an old-timer and 2 are newbies. Tom Coughlin is the old-timer. You know, even though he is well-liked by the Giants ownership, their GM has to have a short leash with Tom Coughlin, and he really needs to start to yank him off the field if they go 0-4. He has not been to the playoffs since 2011. Of course, that was the year that they won the championship. Last season was the first losing season since his first year in 2004. I think the owners of the Giants, they really need to start looking for a new coach because this team is not playing for this old-timer. They need some new blood. Now, speaking of new blood and the newbies, Dennis Allen, coach of the Raiders, his coaching record is 8 wins and 28 losses in his third season. He definitely is on the hot seat because there were some great expectations for the Raiders this year. And the Raiders actually lost to 2 mediocre teams in the beginning of this season, the Jets and the Texans. And they're going to be 0-3 after this week because they're not going to beat the Patriots. So there's definitely is going to be a very, very short leash. And it's starting to choke Dennis Allen. And finally, Gus Bradley of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, he is a newbie. I mean, he's in his second season. He has currently, his record is 4 wins, 14 losses. I mean, if they had only won that game against the Eagles, I may not have him in the hot seat. But they didn't win, and especially the way they lost in that the second half. So I think he's definitely going to be in the hot seat. And just to make some honorable mention, I said it was finally, but I'm very surprised. I'm not going to say these coaches are really under the fire, but very shocked that they're 0-2. Sean Payton for the Saints, Andy Reid for the Chiefs, and Chuck Pagano for the Colts. All three of them were 0-2 to start the season. Who would have thought that? DizzieMac, what do you think?
First Lady, definitely. Lovey Smith. Ooh. I'm talking about getting taken behind the woodshed. And I have to even wonder what he was smoking, kicking the Devin Husky. The man who returned a lot of those kicks playing for you, so you know what he can do. Don't be a need to grow. Kick away. I will mention this on the first to go. I'm not even call it the skillet, the hot seat. It's the first to go. Tom Coughlin. How in the world? How in the world?
The first to go.
The first to go.
I'm looking over here at Andre. Andre over here rolling and stuff. The first to go.
The first to go. I mean, we got to give some a parting gift or something. We got to give him a board game or something. Because Tom Coughlin, you would expect more from a past Super Bowl winner, but we ain't getting it. Dennis Allen, he's going in the right direction. I would look more at probably Andy Reid. The Chiefs don't look like the Chiefs of last year. They look like the chefs of this year. Not the Chiefs, the chefs. So Andy Reid would be my choice to win the prize for the first to go if they lose again. And he is my dark horse, Jim Harbaugh, out in San Francisco. After Sunday night, looking at his team implode against, as you know, I'm sitting on the Chicago Bearskin rug. The Gale Sayers give me 18 inches, and I can find Daylight Edition Bearskin rug. After Sunday night, he's my dark horse. He could be the first to go out there in the Bay. What can I say? Andre, I know you over there laughing. You almost spit out your mimosa. Man, tell me.
That was a good call. Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, I'm going to say this. I have to give you props on your Bears pick. First of all, actually, the first to go, this Chiefs team was one of the highlights. Everybody was talking about, the explosive Jamal Charles, but a lot of the betting guys were talking about this Jamal Charles getting hurt under 4 weeks. And that was a lot of big talk, and, he didn't even last. But it's not really, I don't know if it's the coach, but, man, it's the players because everybody's getting hurt. And, looking at the other teams as well, the coach position is very stressful, and you brought up the Raiders. The Raiders they've just been out of control for the last 20 years. And, I don't see anything.
They've been out of control for the last 20 years.
Yeah,
I mean, you gonna go 20 years. Now, Andre, you gonna go 20 years deep on the brother? That ain't no mercy.
I think if Allen gets an extra win, he's happy. He's up there in heaven. But It's one of those teams that, they're young and, they're not going to be winning any games. As for the Jaguars, they got actually a really good team, but, man, they're just in a hard division. And, they got a good quarterback there, and he's going to prosper, give him some time. But it's a lot of pressure on the coach. I feel bad for these coaches because they're actually pretty good. But it's just a young team, and, you're just going against really good beat. There's a lot of good beasts out there. And, in Kansas City, I expected them to do a lot better. But, man, I'm going to give props to this Falcons team who blew the doors off Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I didn't expect the game to get that high. I expected to win by at least 15-20, but I did not think there was going to be no freaking almost a 40-point blowout. But interesting week. I think some of the coaches are going to make some decisions for this coming week. And
Andre, who's the first to go?
I'm going to say Reed.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
Yeah.
The first to go.
Somebody running this segment, ain't they?
Hey, Joe, hey, don't be over there eating up all the scrambled eggs, man. We got to get what you thinking. What you think, Joe?
DizzieMac, I know Andy Reid's having a rough time already, but he's really the only little light they had at the end of that tunnel from last year. So they're going to have a little bit of a longer leash on him. I think the last couple championships that the Giants got, Tom Coughlin's job was on the line, and the team produced for him. But I think this year he is saddled with that funny face looking Manny. And as long as that boy is throwing picks every time he can wind up and haul it off, I think he's got Tom Coughlin's head right under his arm in a headlock. Tom Coughlin really doesn't have the power to sit him, and I think he's done. I don't think he makes it to the end of the season, and maybe that should be Gus Bradley or Dennis Allen, or even, for that matter, if they don't keep running the ball, Jason Garrett. But it will be Tom Coughlin.
That's Joe Midas Miller saying that, hey, Tom Coughlin, we don't care about the 2 rings. It's going to be the first to go. Well, we're going to keep our eyes on this one. Don't call him a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my fears, putting suckers to fear. The tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering over the competition. I'm powering. Wrecked and shot when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest of the hall. Get you slicing the dice. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out. We're not talking about Randy Turpin, Sugar Ray Robinson, or Gorilla Jones. We are talking about the fight of the century. That's right, Floyd Mayweather versus the chump of the month. Is this what Floyd gives us instead of being a true champion? By taking on the best before they are over the hill and toothless. George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, and Lee Farnsworth, one of my favorite boxers, are asking, what you saying? Well, Floyd has found the way to be able to maximize his dollars without taking major risk. He's the money man. He understands. And he is going through his bum of the month, 6-fight HBO contract, Showtime contract, I should say, excuse me, and he is living up to his money nickname. Because $32 million at least, that's pretty good payday against somebody that I already beat once. So, hey, why not make another 32 and beat him twice? Well, until he signs to fight somebody who we want to see, and that somebody is Manny Pacquiao, we're not going to be too interested as we watch him fight these last two fights of his mega deal. So until then, it's a bum in the month club. Money, step in the ring. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's going to fight Pacquiao the last fight of that contract so he can have leverage if he loses, so he can do it again for the most amount of money that he can sign for. But until then, we might as well just pick somebody off the skid row and put him in the ring with Mayweather and just be done with it. Joe, I can't say nothing else. Help me out, man.
DizzieMac, I think you're being hard on Floyd Mayweather. It is looking like the bum of the month club because that's what Floyd made him look like, bumps. The reason he just got $30-some-odd million for this last fight is because, fortunately for us, the time he fought this guy before, he got roughed up a little bit. Maidana pushed him around, roughed him up, hit him all upside the back of his head, scraped up his face. We saw his lip busted. We liked that. We thought he was going to fight. He didn't come out of there clean. So, as a champion defending his honor, he tried to step up and say, wait a minute. I can do to this guy what Ray Leonard did to Durant. I can make him quit. And pretty much, that's what we saw in that fight. He made that dude
no more. No more.
And I want to see him fight Pacquiao, too. I want to see him fight Pacquiao because everybody kind of feels like it's an excuse to say, wait a minute, maybe this guy was on steroids. But I'm just posing a quick question. Have you ever seen a guy move up 3 weight classes and start knocking out bigger percentages as the guys he fought got bigger? Never happened. Never does happen. Just like you don't get old and hit more home runs. Oh, that's not how that works. That only works when you're on the juice. And when somebody comes back and says, no, I'm scared of needles. I don't want this $50 million I can make with you because I'm scared of getting shot. I believe Floyd was on to something. And when that boy got up off that juice, regular people he had been beating knocked him out. Oh, so I know Floyd knows that he is still going to get this fight. I know Floyd's still going to get this fight. He probably going to get $100 million from doing it from somebody over in Dubai. Hey, going to beat him up bad when that happens. It's going to shock the world because we really going to pay for it. But he's going to make us wait so he can leave on that $100 million stamp. I'm going to turn it over to the First Lady and see what she knows. She got the inside info.
Well, you know, what I know is Floyd does an excellent job marketing his fight because for some reason prior to the fight, you know these people can't beat him. But when they build up the fight, especially with that pre-fight hype, you have a lot of people out there that's going to pay for those pay-per-view fights. $75. And you want to know something? I was like a dummy. I bought the fight because I wanted to see the fight because I missed the first Madonna fight with Floyd. Yeah, Madonna really knocked Floyd around in the first fight. So I thought the second fight would be good. The rematch would be good. And unfortunately, it wasn't done. That was a waste of $75. And Floyd just really dominated Madonna, and he made him look like a bum. I just think Floyd has fought the best with the exception of Manny Pacquiao. And the Manny Pacquiao fight is far overdue. It should have happened 4 years ago. And I just think people, like you said, DizzieMac, are not interested in another Floyd Mayweather fight. As a matter of fact, they already said people are not, the bettors are not even betting that much on his fights anymore because they already know what's the outcome going to be. Would you want to see a rematch with Canelo Alvarez? Maybe. Should he fight Amir Khan? That might be a good fight. But the one thing I know, the First Lady will not buy another pay-per-view unless it's with Manny Pacquiao. What you thinking, Andre?
How you doing? I'm actually a friend of Roger Mayweather, so I just gotta watch what I say. Roger's an awesome person, but you know, I gotta say something. Shame on Mayweather for not tipping that girl. I read the news. That $23,000 tab and left her zero, and that was kind of not right. But you know, I follow Mayweather, and Mayweather's secret in winning the fight is the cream. You might not know it, but it's the Mayweather cream that he puts on his chest before the fight, endorsed by Mayweather. Actually got some of the cream. And, you know, I like Mayweather. He's a good fighter. And the Manny Pacquiao fight is going to be probably the biggest fight, you know, he's going to have. And when I was talking to Roger a couple fights before, he was telling me, we talked about the Madonna fight, and he said it was an easy win. So, but when I saw the fight, you know, Madonna in the first fight, you know, he gave him a fight for his money. But then, of course, you know, Mayweather, you know, won the fight, you know, outright. But the Pacquiao fight, you know, Pacquiao, they have something to prove. And it will be Mayweather's probably toughest fight ever. And it'll be the ratings are going to be the money, everything's going to be pouring in that day. And this will be the final fight, more likely for Mayweather to retire, will be the Pacquiao fight. And if he does win here, I'm pretty confident that he's going to go up for retirement. Mayweather's probably the greatest fighter in history, one of them. I give a lot of props, but
he's the greatest defensive fighter. That's a defensive fighter. I don't know if he's the greatest ever, but as far as defense, counter punching, that's Mayweather. But he's not an exciting fighter. I can't
remember this.
I can't put him in the league with Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali was okay, but he didn't have excitement. Mayweather, he's a showboat, almost like that's what you want, excitement in a fight. And I like that. You know, Camacho.
He didn't say Muhammad Ali was okay?
He was okay, but he wasn't. I got bored of Muhammad Ali. He was like, you know, like in the ring, like he was dumb. But I like some of that show, you know, the movement. You know, he's got that charisma, and that's what I like about Mayweather. You know, he's got that cockiness. You know, you watch his videos. You know, he's on the boat, on the airplane. You know, drinking champagne. You know, living the life.
Oh my goodness, Andre, I can tell you're a young fella because you obviously didn't see Muhammad Ali because there's no other fighter in the world that had charisma as Muhammad Ali. He is charisma.
Well, wait, my man in the Rocky movies.
Apollo Creed.
Back to you, DizzieMac.
Hey, well, you know, we're going to be keeping an eye on this one. But, well, hold on now. I see something. Shimmy, girl, give me my raincoat. Something's splashing all up over me naked. I want to be wet. Who is this coming in here? Uh-oh. Must be our favorite time, our favorite friend.
I see he's trying to come into the room, but actually what we're going to do is take a short break, and you are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports with the most fired up panel.
Free Mr.
Yeah, I said it on Sports Radio. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
They say, stop creditors from harassing you. Consolidate your credit card debt into a loan. They say, stop those annoying calls. Simply file bankruptcy. They don't say, consolidating credit card debt into a loan keeps you paying on that debt for years and more years with interest. They don't say, file for bankruptcy and say no to a car loan, no to a mortgage for up to 11 years. Don't file bankruptcy and ruin your credit for years. Don't get a consolidation loan and pay years and years. Get your credit card debt destroyed. Call Sharon, the Debt Destroyer. Sharon and her team of experts work hard to help you eliminate your credit card debt and get you and your credit back on track. No bankruptcy, no loans, your credit card debt eliminated. Have your credit card debt destroyed. Contact Sharon, the Debt Destroyer, at yourdebtdestroyed.com or call 888-431-2829, extension 2.
You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports, and what's that little flashing, that splashing sound? I think it's time for...
And we know Clipper lives in a world full of wonder, flying there under the
That's right. It's time for Flip It. And on Flip It, our hosts defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. We were all young once. Not talking about First Lady. She's young now. And did things we are glad don't show up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pookie, or the local news. We're asking the panel to defend. Jameis Winston is a young man with a lot of talent. His indiscretions and dirty mouth will mean little to the NFL team seeking to get that franchise QB. He will go in the first round near the top. DizzieMac, defend.
Jameis Winston needs to rein himself in. Great talent, no doubt. But you're looking at the money, son. And once you start losing money, you start losing altitude, and then next thing you know, you're looking crazy in the green room. Teams that passed you by. And you're going to be saying, I'm going to make them pay. I'm going to make them pay. Well, if you stop doing the things that you're doing, clean your mouth up, stop making these indiscretions, you may last to the late first round, maybe high middle. But that's about it.
DizzieMac on the defense. Jameis Winston is a young man with a lot of talent. His indiscretions and dirty mouth will mean little to the NFL team seeking to get that franchise QB. He will go in the first round near the top. Andre, savvy tongue sucker, defend.
I like Jameis Winston, but he's got that kid young mind. I like him to probably go into probably the top 4 quarterbacks, and he's got a lot of talent. He's actually considered probably one of the best. But when he's being suspended for one game, that can hurt him. So he's going to have to play catch up and play twice as hard, in the other games to make up, to put up the yards and the touchdowns. But definitely, he's still a young kid. He's got to make some adjustments in his attitude and the way his professionalism, because everybody is watching like a paparazzi. So he's got to be careful of what he does and change his personality. I can't change his personality, but the things that you do, don't get caught slipping.
Slipping into the future. Joe, Midas, Miller. Defend.
Ronnie, this is just a wrong time for this kid to be immature. He plays great on the football field, won a national championship last year. But you know what? If he's too stupid to stay on the field for the NFL, who's going to pay him that kind of money? He better grow up quick. That's it for me.
First Lady, defend.
Jameis Winston is a young and immature, but he's not committing any serious crimes or, to our knowledge, using illegal substances. He still is considered to have a good character. He's just a kid who likes to have silly fun. You can tell when he does his interview. He's so happy-go-lucky type of guy with a quirky personality. This is not harmful to his draft status. Jameis Winston has talent, and every GM in the NFL knows that, and he will be picked based off of his talent, not his character, and he'll be in the top 3, if not number 1.
Defense by the First Lady, but you know this is Flip It, and on Flip It, they gave their view. Now we're going to flip the script, and they're going to defend the opposing view. Jameis Winston is a young man with a lot of talent, but his indiscretions and dirty mouth will have him drop like a hot rock come draft day. DizzieMac, defend.
Why, certainly. Again, Jameis Winston has a behavior issue. The boy is just a little bit off, I think, when I look at him, because he always has a crazy look on his face. He's always apologizing for stealing, doing something, shooting BB guns, stealing something. He's always doing something. And it just means the same thing. Good, bad, or indifferent. And this time it's going to be the bad. He's going to lose stock. He's lost it already. I mean, I would even think because of the things that are happening now, teams are not willing to take that possible behavior problem like they used to and stay away from him. But see, he's going to drop like a hot knife through butter. Next thing you know, he's hitting the plate, which is second round, third round. What you going to do? Tell the team, no, you could play baseball, but them same issues are going to be there. He's going to drop like a hot rock, boy. Watch out now. Where's my case?
The defense. DizzieMac. Joe Midas Miller over there in the bank room counting that heavy cash. Defend.
Running these teams out here are looking at more than one incident. These teams are looking at an accusation from a young woman.
Yeah.
It's like some crabs got up and walked up out of a stool. Now he's standing on top of a table, clowning for the world to see. He ain't even sneaking no more. Ooh, this could be a problem. It could be a problem. And I believe if you ain't sneaking no more, it's because you think you're so blessed that you don't have to play by the same rules as everybody else. That might have been the same thought that Ray Rice or Adrian Peterson or a lot of other present players that's in the news had. I think teams are going to run away from that. I see mid-second round coming.
All right, that's the man over there in that bank room. But you know, the savvy tongue sucker with his smooth self, Ramirez. Defense.
You can be the greatest player in the world, but if you can't grow up, no one's going to want you, because in the NFL, you're with the big kahunas, you know, the best of the best. You know, the little kids, they play in high school and college, but there can be a problem for Jameis Winston. You know, if he doesn't grow up, you know, he can cost the team actually money and lawsuits, and that's something, you know, that can actually cost, you know, games, because, you know, emotion gets involved, you know, when they're playing their games and stuff. And a coach and owners actually look at that, and that can be a big risk for you know, for a lot of teams. And you know, his luck might run out when someone's desperate to get a quarterback, and they're like, you know what, I'd rather go with this person, like maybe Marcus Mariota from Oregon. Huntley. There's a lot of good quarterbacks out there. You know, we don't want to take the risk of this guy, you know, getting us all caught up. And that's the issue that you know, Jamie Winston has to look for his future. And, you know, if he acts up like this, keep on more, you know, you're probably looking even, you're right, second year or even third round. If he even gets drafted, he might just be a free agent, go to the CFL. Like
Ooh.
But you need to watch what you got to say, Mr. Winston. You got to grow up.
Ooh. You heard the defense from the Andre ExtremeSportsPicks.com. We threw him a plug. ExtremeSportsPicks.com. And if you can't find that, then get your brother to type in the keywords. First Lady defend.
According to Mel Kiper, he has already dropped Winston 22 spots. So as the scouting pundits continue to talk about Winston dropping, this may translate to the GMs listening to these scouting reports. Even though these indiscretions are not serious, it shows that Winston has a character flaw that could lead to him engaging in more serious acts. Therefore, GMs will think twice drafting him high in that first round. And, you know, he's going to drop it like a hot rock, and he's probably going to be in the low 20s.
Male. We know when the male man comes, he delivers. Great defense. Well, you've heard the first part of Flip It. First Lady, take us away.
Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from Byron Bank on the first part of Shout Out.
Where's my cake, Shimmy Shack girls?
Credit card debt was kicking my butt. Filing for bankruptcy was not for me. I spoke with those debt consolidation people who only wanted me to keep the debt I had for what seemed like a century. A friend said, "Your debt destroyed." I said, "What?" They said, "Your debt destroyed." They said, "Contact Sharon at Your Debt Destroyed and let her team of experts eliminate your debt while building up your credit worthiness." I contacted Sharon, and she put her team to work to destroy my debt with a plan that was easy to follow and gave me and my family peace of mind. Don't consolidate your debt, eliminate your debt. Contact Sharon at yourdebtdestroyed.com or call her at 888-431-2829, extension 2.
The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. Cheryl, over to you.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we don't like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, if we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today we are featuring music from Byron Bank out of H-Town, Houston, Texas, with his album, The Withdrawal. The first track we are going to hear is Love and Regrets.
Forget your first love, moments you can't shake up, internal scar that you can't make up. The breakup is real and still you wait up, hoping things will let up. The truth you gotta let go and face up. Got a wall built because you don't wanna love again. Relationships is hard, scared to let others in. Bittersweet, see what is happening. It's easy to move on, but it's hard remembering. Cause I remember the days I gave my heart into another, but her love was just vague. Put it all up on the table, all she did was just say her friend was just a friend, now they married today. Crazy to say, but I gotta let it burn. Confessions of a love that's lost with no return. To whom this really may concern, is one life to live, but guess you live and you learn. life become a love song, and where do I start? Talking about that one that picked me apart, had me crumbling but wondering she seemed so far. Played a role I didn't feel like a star, till I fell for her, knowing I knew better, forget her. Ignoring the do betters, my homies be yelling at me, saying that ain't me, and homies where I'm happy. If I don't see it now, I be damned, but hope she catch me. Tucking my ways, chasing the fairy tale, life in the carousel, knew this shit very well. Trip to New York, I'm regretting I did that. Right up in my face, I see her flirting, believe that. How real can it get, man? The eyes don't lie. Just a sucker like them cartoon guys, I'm letting it burn. To whom this really may concern, cause one life to live, I guess you live and you learn. Work.
That was Love and Regrets. DizzieMac, are you loving it or are you regretting this track?
Oh, we're going to shout it out. I was kind of a reflectful track. You know, my man was kind of going deep, expressing himself. I can dig the beat. And, hey, we're going to give it a shout out. You know, I mean, it was a very introspective cut.
Okay, shout it out. Andre, what do you think of Love and Regrets?
It is good. I like it. One of the issues, yes, one small issue is the ending. You got too much musical. Cut it short or have some type of lyric or something, or, you know, fill it in. But he's got a lot of good talent, and actually, you know, he's good enough to go sign. He just got to, you know, connect with the right people, get with Dr. Dre or something. But it's good. I like it.
All right, Dr. Dre making those billions. Okay, Ronnie B.
Well, coming from a hip place, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shout out. Nice. I agree with what Andre said at the end there. Just you know, sometimes getting that last touch, you know, can be challenging, but definite shout out.
Okay, shouting it out. And Joe, are you on the same lines as everybody else with this song?
I'm on the same lines. That boy had a groove working, and he was spitting it out there and trying to dig deep. I loved it. Shout out.
Shout it out. Okay, well, I think it's unanimous from the panel because I'm going to shout it out too, Love and Regret. But I thought it had, actually I like the music, but I do agree it was a little bit too much at the end. Sometimes, you know, you just want to hear his voice. He has a nice voice, and we probably would have liked to hear more of it. But I definitely thought it was great. So we'll hear more from Byron Banks on part 2 of Shout Out. Do I hear something splashing? Is it the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Ronnie B, it's time for Flip It.
Time for Flip It, where our hosts defend a point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. Florida State will open Saturday's home game against Clemson without Jameis Winston for the first half. Oh, no, First Lady and Andre, they had that update that he's out suspended for the whole game. The coaching staff said, hey, look, what if we're losing and Winston comes in that second half and then leads us to victory? Then we would have made him a hero. So they said, no, we did no. Now, we asked the panel to defend. If Clemson wins this game, put an asterisk by it. Under the old BCS system, they would not gain a point. If Clemson wins this game, put an asterisk by it, under the old BCF system, they would not gain a point. Midas mine, defend.
Well, I think that's the right thing to do. Why would they gain a point when arguably the best player on Florida State's team ain't there? They shouldn't get a point for beating a team that has kind of beat itself.
All right. Midas Mind says, hey, they beat their own self. Andre Ramirez, defend.
Florida State's got a really good defense, and defense wins championships. That's just the key. They can win this game without the quarterback, with their strong defense. The young guy's going to have to step up to the plate. You always get this rush when the young guy comes in and says, you know what, you're going to have to win the game. Clemson's not as good this year as they were last year. We know when they lost a couple of their main starters. So the Florida State can win this game, but it's going to be close. But to say to get the point, it could happen. And but I still think that Florida State, they'll probably just, if they lose this game, it's only going to be one game. You'll be all right.
Well, we thank you for the defense. DizzieMac, defend.
Everybody knows now what is up. If Clemson wins, you have to put the asterisk on it. Because everybody knows you didn't play Florida State at Florida State's full strength. And you can't give Clemson a point. Can't give it to them. Can't do it. Can't gain a point off of this, especially with the developments. So now, I don't feel bad, and you got to go and make sure that, hey, if they win, you put an asterisk, because, again, you're going to remember who was missing that Saturday afternoon. He already has one trophy.
All right. First Lady, please defend.
Of course this game should have an asterisk because Florida State will be without their best player. This is why the old system factored these type of scenarios into their point system. Furthermore, come on now, the betting community knows what's going on. Jameis Winston not playing for the entire game has impacted the betting spread. One betting outlet has the lowest line at -14, a full touchdown lower than the line had been before when Winston was only playing a half game. So when a star player is out of the game, it's going to make a difference overall. Everybody knows that.
All right, we heard the defense. And we're going to ask, but this is Flip It, where we flip the script, and I can't wait for the flip. Now, we ask the panel to defend. A win is a win, and it is a bigger win when you beat the odds on a favorite. If Clemson wins, this is a big deal regardless of whether Jameis Winston started or played at all. If Clemson wins, it's a big deal. Big deal, big deal. DizzieMac, defend.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Ryan B. Well, see, there's a little thing called, there's 119 NCAA Division I football programs out there. And you're Florida State. So you're going to get the cream of the crop wherever you recruit, whoever you recruit. Okay, backing up Jameis Winston, who was the number one recruit in 2012. His backup was the number 12 rated quarterback in the country. So you still got somebody that can do the job. So a win is a win. It's bigger when you beat the odds against somebody that's the defending national champion. And you got players at every position. You can't play. I mean, Yeah, players falling out of your pockets that are so good they can't even get on the field. So, no, it is a big deal. And a feather in the cap if they go into Tallahassee and come out with the W.
All right, we heard the defense by DizzieMac. How say ye Midas mind over there in that bank room?
Why in the world would we ever put an asterisk by Clemson's win? Clemson didn't make that man stand on the table and clown. Clemson ain't walked out of no grocery store, crab legs. Clemson ain't got a problem. Clemson came to the game to play. That's what's going to happen today. They're going to come to play. They didn't have nothing to do with that. If Florida State got folks on their team that can't control themselves, that reflects on the team. There shouldn't be an asterisk. What's going on is Clemson is playing a team that's fieldable according to the administration at Florida State. That's all there is. A win is a win.
Midas Mind, who counts that money in the bank vote, says a win is a win. Andre, defend.
Well, Clemson and Florida State, I'm going to go with, I'm going to say I have to put my 2 cents in on this one. On the betting side, it looks good for the average Joe to lay the money on Clemson and take the points because it can be closer because that right now that 10.5 opened up at 20. But the line's trying to shift the opposite way, showing that the wise guys are laying the money on Florida State with the 10.5. Clemson has everything for this game. You know, they're going against a team that's not going to be in queue. And there's always that one game where you pull the upset. And this can be the biggest spark in Clemson. And they have a decent team. And they can beat Florida State, but they're going to have to get past they're going to have to, you know, get all over the defense. And that the run in Florida State is tough. It's tough. And, you know, but it's college football. You know, anything can happen. You know, an injury, you know, a bad call, you know, a receiver was not paying attention. To say, you know, to me, you know, football, it's all about betting for me. So I have to say, stick with the money, lay the money on Florida State, and you might be okay.
So your defense is that a win is a win, and if Clemson wins, they deserve all the props.
Yes.
Okay. See, you could actually say that and then still give us all the sporting stuff. It's allowed. Silver tongue, savvy one. Great defense. Okay. First Lady, defend.
A win is a win. There are no excuses. There are no apologies. Teams just have to play regardless of the circumstances. There are many games played when the star player is hurt. So the fact that Florida State star player Winston Jamison was suspended one game has the same impact if he were hurt. It could be harder for Clemson to win the game because Winston's backup is eager to prove he deserves a chance. Also, Clemson may not be motivated because the star player is not there. So these types of games are still unpredictable, and both teams will just have to play to see who wins. There never are guarantees in football. Just play the game and see what happens.
All right, you heard the defense from our group on both sides, so flip it. DizzieMac.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Brawl, Panties and Sports and the Funny.
Another day, another restless night, crying myself to sleep. Another day of relentless phone calls from credit card companies demanding payment. Another day wondering if filing bankruptcy or getting one of those debt consolidation loans is the only way to go. A friend said, "Stop crying. Just call Sharon the debt destroyer." Sharon and her team of experts work hard to help you eliminate your credit card debt and get you and your credit back on track. No bankruptcy, no loans, your credit card debt eliminated. I called Sharon and her team of experts went right to work with a plan that made sense. I am sleeping peacefully knowing my credit card debt is being destroyed and my credit is getting back on track. Have your credit card debt destroyed and get a good night's sleep? Contact Sharon, the Debt Destroyer, at yourdebtdestroyed.com or call 888-431-2829, extension 2.
You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. I am here with the First Lady, DizzieMac, the Shimmy Shake Girls, Andre Ramirez, ExtremeSportsPicks.com, and the Midas Mind. It's time for the funnies. DizzieMac, over to you.
Unmentionable. Naked man got frisky with panties. Uh-oh. Whole Guppy Radio wanted me to make sure to let you fans know that I would never be caught taking liberties with any panties unless they are on for the sole purpose of assisting a lady in distress. Jonathan Leon Warlito was arrested after allegedly committing a sex act with a fistful of panties outdoors in Oklahoma City. Investigators said Warlito had a bag and some women's underwear on his head, and he was committing a sex act with another fistful of undergarments. Wow. He attempted to flee. Why? Officers, but was caught and arrested on public indecency charge. Police did not say where Warlito obtained the panties, and we don't want to know. And believe me, barred up.
I don't think anybody wants them returned.
Oh, boy. I think we just need to move right on.
First Lady.
I have no comments.
Take us out of our misery.
Yes, okay. Let's get to the picks. All right, let's quickly. Last week, DizzieMac, you redeemed yourself. You ended up with 6 points because obviously you had 4 points, and you got that pick with your the team that you thought of the upsets pick. You had a great pick with the That's right. Yeah. So you got 2 on that. So you got 6. Joe, you got 6. And guess what, Joe? You relied on Andre a lot, huh? But guess what? Andre got a 0.
Oh, no.
Andre had 0. But, Joe, you obviously see you need to use your own intuition. But anyway, I got 2 points. So the totals at this point is 6 for me, 4 for DizzieMac, 6 for Joe, and 0 for Andre. All right, let's get to the current picks. Cowboys versus the Rams. I have the Rams. DizzieMac, who do you have?
I'm going with the Cowboys.
Going with the Cowboys. And Joe, who do you have?
We're running that ball. It's all about the Cowboys this week.
All right, all about the Cowboys.
Uh-oh.
Andre, who do you have?
I like the Cowboys on this one.
Oh, my goodness.
Definitely.
I'm out there,
easy.
I'm out there on my limb. Okay. Ravens versus the Browns. I'm going with the Browns. Andre, who do you have?
Ravens and Browns. I'm going to go with the Ravens for the blowout.
Ravens for
you
the blowout.
Putting that blowout out there.
Okay.
Well, what's up that you got a blowout
game? That's my biggest game for this Sunday, where people are paying $50 a game. And that's my play. I'm betting we're laying the big money on the Ravens.
All right. DizzieMac, who do you have? Ravens, Browns.
I'm going with the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens.
And Joe?
Steve Smith Sr.'s career is alive. He's awakened again. Ravens.
Okay. I'm still out there alone. Okay. Green Bay Packers against the Detroit Lions, playing in Motor City, Detroit. I'm going to go with Green Bay on this because they're 1-1. I think they can come back and get another win. So, Andre, who do you have?
What?
I like it's going to be between maybe a field goal. I like Green Bay plus the 3 points actually.
Okay. DizzieMac.
I'm going with them Lions. What up, D-Town?
And Joe, you have?
Packers.
You got the Packers, okay.
Hey, First Lady, does it seem like the Midas mind has kicked Andre to the curb? Andre, I don't know what happened, but, Andre, I live in Texas. And you always ride with the horse that got you there. I'm getting a suspension that my man trying to change ponies. What you think, Dre?
Well, everything's about, points and numbers, and actually I had a good week, and because the games I gave was a free pick, but my paid picks was, my biggest game last week was the Patriots. It was just a blowout.
Right. Betting is a little bit different. You're right.
But I know there was a pick on the panel, but, I like games that, that can possibly win, but when it comes to laying the money, it's a different story.
You say it's a whole different game. Okay, all right. Okay.
Different game.
Yeah. Now, I know Andre and Midas Mind have talked offline about that other game, but let me give it back to you for a second.
Okay, so I just got where I left off at. Did I get everybody's pick for the Lions and the Packers? I think so. All right, Joe had the Packers. Okay, so Broncos Seahawks. That's the big game of the week. I am going with the Broncos. It's time for the revenge. And the Seahawks, they're limping off of that loss. So I know it's going to be hard. They're going to be in that Seattle stadium. Those fans are wild up there. So it's going to be hard, but I'm going with Broncos. Andre, who do you have?
Seattle blowout, 37-16. That's my other biggest game.
Okay.
That was a slap your mama move.
I know, that's right. So, DizzieMac, you have Seattle?
Oh, yeah, Legion of Boom. Legion of Dome.
Yeah. Joe, who do you have?
I'm riding with you, First Lady. I saw what San Diego did to that defense last week. I think Monte Ball can do the same thing. I'm a Bronco this week.
Broncos.
Say it ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't
so, Joe. Okay, Bears versus the Jets. Ugh, this is a pick-em to me. I'm going to go with the Jets at home. DizzieMac, who do you have? I know. Let me put you in for the Bears. Joe, who do you have? I know Dizzy wants the Bears. So Joe, who do you have?
I embarrassed myself picking against the Bears. How could I do it? My family called me to tell me I was sorry. I can't go any place else. I'm a Bear.
So you're going with the Bears, okay? And Andre, who do you have?
The Jets are gonna run all over.
Oh,
that's right. The Bears run right through that line.
That's at home. Okay.
Man, that must be one of your money picks.
Yeah, that's not my money pick. I redeem them.
Okay, it's not your money. Okay, I take that
back.
Okay, I got it.
I don't think betting on the Jets is a money pick.
Oh, okay, all right. We know he went to Cornell.
All right. Okay, now we got to get our serious underdog picks. I have Jacksonville over the Colts. Andre, who do you have?
What?
Ooh, the underdog pick.
Serious underdog. They're serious underdogs. Okay. Andre, who do you have?
That's a tough one this week for the underdogs. If you have to go with an underdog, because the line actually shifted, I know the Giants are going to – I like the Giants to pull the win on Houston. They have to pull the win. The line has shifted to almost a positive. The underdog, here's a good underdog. What I like, I like the San Diego Chargers on the road against Buffalo Bills. The line has shifted to +2.5. The points are pretty good for Chargers. They haven't been playing really good. Phillip Rivers he's just like been shining, and the Bills have a lot of problems. They have a decent run game, but it can be a good money play for a free game.
Okay, I have to cut you off a little bit, Andre, even though I don't really think that's an underdog game, but a serious one. But we're going to let you slide on that one. DizzieMac, who do you have?
Hey, I'm going straight forward. Minnesota over New Orleans in the dome.
Good. The way New Orleans have been playing, I don't even know if I can do that. Okay, Joe, who do you have as your underdog?
I think Washington beats Philly this week. Philly's been sliding around with the help of the referees. It's time for that.
Yeah, I almost had that one too. I was looking at that one real hard, but I don't know about that one. Okay. All right. So we'll see how it goes. We'll definitely see how it goes on that. All right. Take us away, DizzieMac.
Hey, thank you, First Lady. On the other side of the break, we have another performance from Byron Banks on Shout Out. Please stay tuned.
Lord, I confess I've made mistakes. I have accumulated too much credit card debt, and now I cannot imagine overcoming it without your help. I beg of you to intercede on my behalf. Provide me with the financial means to be able to breathe again. Please forgive my sins, Lord. Walk with me. Help me to make the right decisions throughout my life. I'm Sharon, the Debt Destroyer. I work with people like you, good people, who need a way to eliminate their credit card debt and get back on the path to prosperity. My team of experts will work hard to help you eliminate your credit card debt and get you and your credit back on track. No bankruptcy, no loan, your credit card debt eliminated. Have your credit card debt destroyed? Contact me at yourdebtdestroyed.com or call 1-888-431-2829.
You are listening to Bras, Panties and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2, What You Saying, and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout out.
We have another performance from Byron Banks with his album, The Withdrawal. Let's hear the track, Hello, Goodbye.
Now hello, now goodbye, now can I tell him hello? Now goodbye, now can I tell him hello? Now goodbye, now goodbye, now goodbye. It's been a long time coming, yeah, I'm here to say it. Too many hands at this turtle, always win the race. Killer B, Bagwell, serving y'all these groceries. I'm in my prime, seeing eyes, even notice me, dog. Cause I'm on, and you ain't, so you hate. You say you family, but shit, it's getting hard to relate. You know it's relative, I kill it. Jehovah even witness the end of the beginning, so you know I never finish. Oh yeah, I've been ablaze. Mr. K Crusader, here to say the day. Superhero, you really know my name, you know my CeeLo. I'm on my John Legend, so that ordinary people say I'm killing it. Behind this mic I transform, I know you feeling it. It's getting hard for you to cope with what you're witnessing. Cause I ain't major, but I bring the pain. Independently and doing my thing. So hello, hello, now goodbye, now can I tell him hello? Hello, now goodbye, now can I tell him hello? Hello, now goodbye. Goodbye, now goodbye, now goodbye, now goodbye, goodbye. You know it's relative, I kill it. Jehovah even witness the end of the beginning, so you know I never finish. Hello, hello, now goodbye, now can I tell him hello? Hello, now goodbye, goodbye. Now to the Lewis what I tell them, now and even later though. They couldn't taste me now or later, so I guess I gotta keep on kicking, cause what I bring is different. I'm in my own world, even Willie's try to get with Jazzy to that Prince like it's summertime. I hear them talking, but they mad cause I'm getting mine. Keep on running at the mouth, say I do them wrong, but then them same ones wanna feature on their song. It's kinda crazy, but I don't say a thing, cause all that stupid talk that I don't entertain, cause stupid is what stupid does, and really I don't give up. But don't get it crisscross, cause you done missed the bus. I turn the negative to positive to cancel that. Many men menopausing, monostat, and this is food for thought. I hope you gobble that. I'm going cold turkey, Thanksgiving hello, hello, now goodbye, now can I tell them hello, hello, now goodbye, now can I tell them hello, hello, now goodbye, goodbye, now goodbye, now goodbye, now goodbye, goodbye. You know it's relative, I kill it, Jehovah even witness, the end of the beginning, so you know I never finish. Hello, hello, now goodbye, now can I tell them hello, hello, now goodbye, goodbye, now goodbye. I stay up in the bar spitting golden bars, telling me to bring it, but can't handle it when it's brought. Sensitive about it, doesn't. Either you like it or you love it. Your girl be begging me to come cause you ain't about nothing. Put it in, man. And all that racket you talking is Wimbledon, man. You got the balls and stop talking about it, Wilson. Call it what you want cause it ain't love. They be like, okay, now that's enough. I'm going way above the rim, Tim Duncan at Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, X-Men, gamble that. Bet it all you want. Celebrating toast, I bring you propane that you never say I won't. It's hard to cut it out, being that I'm southern bound. And if the price is right, then won't you Bob Rocky even bank on it. This salutation is what I'm giving back. So hold on, wait on it. Hello, hello, now goodbye, now can I tell him hello, hello, now goodbye, now can I tell him hello, hello, now goodbye, goodbye, now goodbye, now goodbye, now goodbye, goodbye. You know it's relative, I kill it. Jehovah even witness, the end of the beginning, so you know I never finish. Hello, hello, now goodbye, now can I tell him hello, hello, now goodbye, goodbye, now goodbye. I constantly gotta tell him. When I see him sometimes, I just want to be like, man, are you serious? For real? Hello, goodbye, hello, goodbye, now hello, goodbye, now hello, goodbye, now hello, goodbye, now hello.
Byron Banks, hello, goodbye. Ronnie B, was this track getting a shout out? Are you going to say hello or goodbye?
They probably got a good rhythm. I like the first track a little bit better, but it still was a good track. I'm giving it a shout out. Shout out.
All right, you're going to shout it out. Joe, what you think of Byron Banks' second track?
I think Byron Bank gonna wind up at the bank if he keep putting it down like that. I gotta give it a shout out. I think the boy's
Hitting it. All right, Andre Ramirez.
Man, I thought he's good. He's got a lot of talent. I'm gonna get a shout out to him. He's got his beats is money, and that's what I like about this artist. And he's got a lot of potential. He's got to put himself in the right hands. But he's got to the chorus. I don't know if you should do a change up on the beat or something. Make it a little, where it shouts out. Where it just makes it different from everybody. But to say overall, he's very good.
Okay, so you gave him a shout out. Okay, with some comments on that. You critique him really good on that. He needs to work on a little bit more with his beats. DizzieMac, what do you think about Byron Banks?
We're giving Byron Banks a shout out. I like that. It was nice groove. Shimmy Shake girls over here moving and grooving to it. So yeah, he was hitting his lane. He was straight up in his lane. He somebody to look out for.
Okay, he's in his lane. I like it too. Hello, goodbye. It's a kind of little catchy rhyme to it. It has, it's just good. Like you said, Andre, he has some potential there. Sign on with the contract. I don't know. Get somebody to definitely produce this young man. That's the end of the shout-out. If you like what you heard from Byron Banks, hit him up at thebyronbank.com. If you like what you heard or have any comments, you can send your emails and tracks to panties@oldgrumpyradio.com. That's panties@oldgrumpyradio.com. Baseball. Wow, it's time. It seems like yesterday when Derek Jeter put on that Yankees jersey. Well, is he about to ride off into the sunset? Too bad the Yankees couldn't muster a last hurrah pennant race for the captain. Is Derek Jeter the all-time greatest Yankee? Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Reggie Jackson, and Roy Wright are asking, what you saying? Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle. Those are the top 4 Yankees. I mean, that's a tough group to put Derek Jeter ahead of. I mean, we're talking about some mega superstars that really made baseball and basically wore the Yankees pinstripe. It's just unfortunate that the New York Yankees just had so many great players. But Derek Jeter is the greatest Yankee from the 1970s to current. I mean, you could argue that Mariano Rivera could be the greatest Yankee for the 1970s. I mean, he had 653 saves. But I have to put Derek Jeter there because he was the face of the Yankees on and off of the field. I mean, we're talking about the captain. So I consider him the greatest player since the 1970s. Because, Mickey Mantle played in the 60s. So I'd say since the 70s, Derek Jeter is definitely the greatest player. DizzieMac, what do you think?
Oh, for sure. Derek Jeter would go down on the New York Yankee Mount Rushmore, along with Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Derek Jeter, and you're going to have a lot of argument that Derek Jeter is the greatest Yankee of all time. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that see the game being different from when Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth played, but no doubt he's in the discussion. It's fun to have those discussions over some beer and some peanuts. But he to me would be in the conversation, no doubt, and it would almost have to be a try MVP for the greatest Yankee.
For the Yankees. Okay, Joe, what do you think?
I agree with you, First Lady. Derek Jeter is definitely the greatest Yankee of the modern age. Full stop. Of the modern age. That Gehrig and Ruth and, man, those old guys were incredible. But Derek Jeter had, 260 home runs compared to Gehrig at 493, 1,300 RBI compared to 1,900 for Gehrig. So in our era, he's definitely the greatest, but not the greatest. Otherwise, I sound like Andre trying to say that Mayweather was more flamboyant than Ali. Come on.
Okay. Andre, let's give this your take on Derek Jeter being the greatest Yankee of all time.
Derek Jeter is not the greatest Yankee. His rookie card's not worth anything compared to like Babe Ruth,
He's about money there, Andre.
For his era, he's not a bad player, but to me, I think the greatest in our era had to be Pettit for the pitcher. That's personally me, but as a hitter, he was good for his era, but I think he's just overrated, way overrated. So for the best, I'm going to say Babe Ruth for the best. Sorry, Derek.
You think the captain was overrated? Derek Jeter overrated? Derek Jeter had some great history plays for the Yankees. I don't know. Can you say that the Yankees would have won some of those World Series without Derek Jeter playing? I mean, that's saying a lot, Andre. This is 2 times today that I disagree with you. But like you said, it's your opinion. We all have our opinions. All right. Before we go, it's time to find out what we missed. DizzieMac, what did you miss?
Man, I missed the Minnesota Timberwolves losing their damn mind, offering a 4-year, $63 million max deal to restricted free agent Eric Bledsoe of the Phoenix Suns.
Okay. All right, Andre, what did you miss?
I miss Hester doing that heckling, on the game on the Falcons. I was actually getting a beer at the moment. So when he scored that touchdown, I missed him doing that little thing with the ear. I guess he broke the record, so I was pretty excited about that and covered the spread.
Before we move on, Andre, how say ye from ExtremeSportsPicks.com?
Yes.
What you got for us this week?
Oh, this week, I gave out my premium picks for this week. Were actually my biggest money game. I'm going to give them out free anyway, so I already sold and made a lot of money. Ravens, of course, over Cleveland, 31-10. That's my biggest bet. My other big bet I gave out was the Seahawks over Denver by 21 points. And then the money play, underdog picked 11 points. If you can get it, it's going to be Minnesota Vikings. The game should be it could be an outright win. I love the 11 points. It's a safer bet. And I like that game within 6. So cash in, lay the money. Follow me on ExtremeSportsPicks.com or go to my Twitter, Andre Ramirez 559. And I got a lot of my free plays on there. But my premium games, lay the money, and you'll get paid, everybody.
Okay. Joe, the Midas Mind Miller. First of all, congratulations on your success with your prosperity insights. What did you miss?
Thank you. You know what? All this week I've been looking at Roger Goodell explain himself and other people talking about how long people had to be out. I missed the fact that the NFL kind of recanted and allowed Josh Gordon to slide back in before the season was over. After only 10 games, he'll be back on the field.
That's that new rules for the drug policy. That's why they can slip back into the game. Ronnie B., what did you miss?
Puff, pass. Hanging out here with DizzieMac over on that bearskin rug.
You know it.
All sorts of stuff can happen. I missed that there's a little bit of a discussion about Hope Solo. Now, Hope Solo is the goalie, the U.S. goalkeeper, and, she's been arrested for domestic abuse of multiple family members. I missed it. I'm multiple.
Yes.
Solo.
Hope Solo.
I'd like to see the ladies doing what they know men do.
Oh, God.
All right, now we take domestic violence seriously. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, I missed Roger Goodell press conference that he continues to talk about the same old rhetoric, a.k.a. lies. This is Cheryl Smith, DizzieMac, Andre, and Joe. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports.